Hello, and welcome to God Where You Win, where we seek to find stories of hope for people who at some point in their lives have asked the question, God, where you win? I'm your host, Chandronette Mobley, and this is my mom, Sharon Mobley.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about breast cancer today. And I know that's a touchy topic, but that's a topic that we both got to experience at the same time. But I know it was more serious for you because you had to deal with it. So can you take us to that moment where you first realized or first maybe felt a lump? How did that story play out? How did that go?
Well, it was one Tuesday night as I was taking a shower, and the Holy Spirit said, check your breasts. And then I stopped. So I did just that, and there's a lump. Because most time, you can feel things, but you just overlook it. But when the Holy Spirit said that, and I did, and I felt that lump, then I was stopped. And that's when after slowly taking a shower, because things stop coming in your mind. Oh Lord. So after I got showered, I came and told you. Remember when I told you?
Right. So the thing was, she was like, I think I felt a lump. And I was like, where? And so I put my hand on it and I was like, that's a lump. That's a lump. So, okay. So continue.
So once I was talking to you, I said, well, you said, Mom, well, we went to the doctor. I said, okay, I'll call. But yet, you in your mind, you thinking, well, this just really can't be. So you grasping for straws, but yet I was going to make that appointment, but grasping for straws. And I went to work the next day, and I began to tell some of my coworkers. And sometimes when you tell people things, you're looking for something you can say, give kind of rest your spirit, but that it's there. So when I told one of my coworkers, and they said, well, maybe it's just a calcium. I said, oh yeah, that's all it is, but it's not. I said, oh yeah, that's what it is. But in my mind and in my heart, once the Lord tells you something, you don't forget, because it's up to you to take action on it, and I did. So
not right away.
Right, yes, I'm getting ready.
Not
to
right
say
away.
I'm getting ready to say that.
Okay.
Not right away. It was a whole week, because I've been pondering on this thing a whole week. So Chandronette came up to me and said, Mom, did you call? I said, no, you better call. So the next day I called.
What are you doing? Call.
So the next day I did call. The next day I called the doctor, and I began to tell him these things, and she had me to come in, and she checked it herself, and she had me to go do a mammogram. And it's so funny, because when I had to get a mammogram done, it did show that it was a black mass, and it just took over me, and I'm trying to really have a pity party for myself. I'm sitting there, my heart beating, I'm just so scared, because when people say cancer, it makes you shiver, because the first thing you say is death. But I know in my heart I wasn't dying. And when the lady did tell me, I started getting faint, I started getting sick and trying to cry. So once I got to my car and I began to pray to the Lord, and the song came in my spirit, I've already done what it said it would do. So the song went all the way through, and that straightened me up. The tears went away, because I know that my trust in Him. And I was trying to feel sorry for myself. And a lot of times we do, because we want not to be that thing, and we're looking for something else. But when you already know it is. So once I got that straightened up, drive on, and then I went and got another a second opinion and another mammogram done, and it says the same thing. So my doctor, she gave me a number of Dr. Crump, and I called Hill Breast Center, and right away they got me in, jump on it. It's like I found out the first, maybe the second week in February. By the third week in March, I was in my treatment. Going, how you get in your mind prepared for this particular thing. And when going back to the visit with Dr. Trump, Crump, I'm sitting there, and he came in and told me the same thing. I almost fainted. I went back, because it was real. And it was so funny that I had to lay back, but so the thing is so scary and it's terrorizing your spirit and your mind. But I know that one thing in my spirit, in my mind, I knew I was not going to die. Right. This was not the day that I'm going to die, or the time with this. So that's when you start gathering up your spirit and your mind and your strength to know that the Lord, what he said, that he's already done what he said he's going to do. I called, you heard me, and he gave me a peace of mind. He's my shepherd and he's my guide. He's with me all the time. I won't worry, I won't fret, because heaven never left me yet. Just keep on trusting, because the word is true. I already done what it said. That whole standing came through. And that really filled my soul.
Did you have to like keep reminding yourself?
Yes,
because you were like, did you have like a roller coaster where you were like up and down?
You really have that roller coaster thing, because I'm gonna face it, but yet something still come in and take you down, and that's when you have to make. And the enemy does come there, because he'll say, "Oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna take you down with this. I got something to nail in your mind and your spirit," and you know you have that strength. And it's the greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. So I took on that in my mind, 1 John 4:4, I took on that. And I began to come up out of that. And then I began to speak his word and read and begin to trust in him and understand what he said. And I know that anything you ask in his name, it shall be given. So I believed on that. And that's what I did. And I began to trust. And I began to go after him. I began to pray and ask him for help. And then things he told me, and within, you never know what you're going through within yourself. But these are things that you got to get out yourself in order for the Lord to heal you. So one of the things I had to learn, that he said, you got to forgive. That's a big, he said, in order for me to heal you, you got to forgive.
So you had some things you felt like,
I did have some things. I did.
That you need to take care of.
Yeah, I did.
And this was like a reality check was for you?
It was, but he reminded me, sometimes, you have things hidden in behind your heart, but you can't hide nothing from God. Right. So this thing, it came up, he said, in order for me to heal you, you got to forgive. Things that people have done to you, where it could be your mother, your brother, your sister, the job, all these things that you had people did. I said, but Lord, how he said, but you got to do it. And I'm gonna tell you how he will bring things back to your mind. Every time I love to listen to gospel station. And every time I turn that gospel station on, this particular song by this artist came and say, you got to forgive. I can turn it early in the morning, there's that song. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. I can turn 12 o'clock, that particular song, because he's getting a message to me. I can, at night, it just looks like right in that particular song. And that let me know, I say, Lord, well, I don't know, help me to forgive. Help me to forgive, get that. And he did. And I continued to pray. And then when he left that, and then he told me, because you were faithful to the man of God, I will be faithful to you. And what I'm saying by that, I am an armor bearer to the first lady. And when you take care of their families, he told me he'll take care of me. Servant spirit, humble spirit. It doesn't matter what I do, whatever they need for me to do, I do it. And it was a pleasure, because this is my pleasure, because she's a wonderful woman in Christ. So because he told me that, once I forgave and let it go.
So it's a process that you went through, and a continual process, and things that you learned about yourself. So let's go back just a little bit and talk about your treatment. How was your first treatment?
My first treatment, I started the third week of March. My first treatment was a little scary, because we didn't know what to accept and to expect. I already had the surgery to get the poke in. So once I got there, the nurses was really, really nice, and they guide you and tell you what you got to do. And you get all hooked up with all these things, and you get arrested in the big chair. And then as the stuff begin in your body, you can feel it. You can feel it, but it was kind of scary. It really was scary. And to think about all this stuff going into me, and then the after effect, what it's going to do to you. So I'm looking at, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have any hair. Right. I'm not going to have any eyelashes. I really didn't have no eyebrows, so they had to worry about that.
Yeah.
No
We didn't
eyebrows.
have any
Yeah,
eyebrows.
we didn't worry about that. You know, I wasn't bothered with that. So, but all of those things started coming into play. So I just, I went on. And that evening, when I got home, I began to feel a little sick because it's getting into my body. And my brother came by and he was talking to me, and I said, I got to go. I talked to the lady, and he was feeling sorry, but I made it in my mind. I told everyone, I don't want no sorry, don't feel sorry for me. And I said, I'm not gonna die, and not this time. And I'm not gonna die, and I don't want nobody coming around the house feeling sorry, because if somebody comes to feeling sorry for you, that spirit, I want you to bring a positive spirit.
Right.
So he understood that, and he always came in the positive spirit, and everybody came around. So that phase of the beginning of that sickness, it faded. And after the second one, it was better. But it's something to go through. It really is.
Right.
And
what was the first thing that you saw change? Because I do remember seeing your fingernails turn dark.
they turned very dark, black. My fingernails turned dark. My toenails turned dark. Your tongue turned dark because of this medicine going into your body. So yeah, you're changing. You're changing. You don't think you're changing. You're changing. Your hair begins to fall. Come out. Every bit of hair on your body comes out. It changes your skin, but because if you follow the direction of the doctor, nobody really know that I was sick.
Oh, now tell the story how you well, that one time you didn't follow doctor's orders. I think you wanted some what did you eat?
Couple of times. When they say follow the regimen, follow it. He told me, do not drink anything with carbonation in it. Okay. I said, okay. Well, there was some Sprite. And I got a little bit of Sprite. It took my breath.
It took your breath?
It took my breath. It started, and I just knew my throat closed up. And I began to pray hard. Lord, help me. If you let me get out of this, I won't touch nothing else. And it did. And I laughed at not because
you laugh now, right?
Yes. But we all do those things. We might not tell it, but we all do that thing, not following. So when you follow, I did. I didn't at first, but after that, man, no pork, no ribs, no nothing, just chicken, fish, shrimp, and turkey. And I took the note. One time I really didn't pay attention to what I was eating. I got a little bit of a pork sandwich, and it made me so sick. And once I got that out, none of those things, I didn't care what somebody offered me, what I saw, I don't care how bad I wanted. I did not touch, because a lot of times we think, okay, they're just talking, just telling us they just want to do anything to you.
Right.
But it did. It really did. And that made me different. So I followed, and they say eat 3 times a day. I forced myself to eat. Sometimes I was weak and sick, but Chandronette, I cook every day for everybody.
She cooked and went to work.
And went to work. And was sick at times. But it's because of my will, I knew that I wasn't going to let anything stop me. But one of the most things that women really go through, I want to talk about, is your appearance. I know that I didn't want to be a model for people. And when you lose all your hair and no eyebrows, no eyelashes, you begin to think you're ugly. And you taught me how to do the eyeliner, the cover that, and it just in the mind, even though you don't say anything, and I didn't have to worry about wigs because I had hair, and during that time when I had hair, I wore wigs.
You wear wigs.
Yes, but now I have to wear, but I didn't have to wear, that was one of the things, because most people don't like to wear, but that's one of the things that didn't bother me, but it was how I look. And everywhere I go, and after I go, my husband would take me to go get my treatment, and then we'll go eat. Someone always called it, because the Lord knows within your heart, you may not say anything. Someone always come up and tell me that you're so beautiful. Not that you're worrying about being beautiful, but they don't know what you feel inside, but the Lord knows. And when they say that to me, it brought more hope. Well, maybe I don't look as bad, because I just could not go with everybody has their own thing about how they want to look. But I know I didn't want to go bald head, and I didn't want to go look like a model. I want to let somebody look and say, hey, she went through it, and look at her. And every time, I was walking down the street, I was walking with my husband, we were walking, coming, doing the mall area. And a lady came up to me and said, "You're just so beautiful." And you stop and like, "Well, thank you so much." And that encouragement kept me going. So I didn't worry about that thing. But you need to hear that every now and then, because your daughter gonna tell you. And your mom, dad, and your friends gonna tell you. But strangers come in to tell you. That made the difference in the world. Or either you tell them, they ask you a question and you say, and then you mention about cancer, they want to give you a hug. You need to and it makes the difference. It helps you. It helps you to move on and forget about all that stuff and fight for what you know is right for you and what God told you. So,
yeah, I didn't see really anything different. I did notice the eyelashes, but like you said, we, got the liner and we drew to give the illusion of eyelashes, but everything else was the same.
Yes, because I always draw my eyebrows on so nobody see anything.
Right.
But it is a difference. And most time, people always, when they're going through this thing, they always going through cancer, they don't have to eat. So I ate 3 times a day. And I didn't realize till later on that the steroids helped me to gain weight. And so that I looked really natural. And I told the doctor when I went back, I said, "Hey, I have to have a look around chair." It was so funny because I went to 179, but it didn't look like it. But I can tell when I tried to put on a pair of jeans, 14 jeans, and I couldn't get them past my knee. Lord, but that let me know I was healthy and I was moving on. But there are a lot of side effects with it, because when you have to get that shot, your bones hurt. You're walking out of breath, you're walking slow. And going back to the first infusion, it does something to your throat. But the thing about it, whatever you're suffering through, tell your nurse, tell the doctor, and there are things for you that you can get, and it's cost effective. I got medicine now, we're looking at the price, $800, $900 for medicine, and I only paid like $25.
That's what I was going to bring up. So, I mean, you were obedient to, first of all, check your breasts, and then the Lord was telling you to forgive, and He was taking you through like many different paths and hurdles that you had to cross over, but He was also taking care of you. Because I remember you saying, like, a lot of times, like, if something costs so much, you only had to pay this amount. And so your treatment or the cost of it overall was very small, that you had to end up on the back end having to pay.
That's true. It is true. But that's
it's a sad thing, but it's also a growing thing, but you're also blessed through it.
You're blessed through because He gave you the tools.
He gave you the tools.
He gave me the tools. And there's a question you always want to say, "Lord, why me?" But I kept it in because I didn't want to say, because I really didn't want to that answer. Why me? I'm thinking, I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do none of the things that I know that a lot of people get from the cause of cancer. And it was a long time. I finally asked the Lord, "Why me?" He said, "Because I know you can handle it." And that right there took me back, because I was expecting some other things, but He said, "Because I know you can handle it." And then sometimes it's a testimony.
It is a testimony.
In your name, in His name. And the thing about it, it's a testimony in your name. And going back to the support you can get, your friends praying for you. I had a friend that I did not know, that he told the people in the church, and he's the leader of the prayer meeting. And they were praying for me, and the Lord said that my name come up like a memorial unto Him. So people praying for you, all these things, and everything that everybody's doing for you is give you strength. So I am alive 5 years strong.
That's okay. That was the next thing. So where you're not at in the treatment, and how far have you been cleared? And
my last mammogram checkup, the doctor sent me a letter, and my other doctor sent me a letter. Hilbert sent me a letter, said I don't have to do the bilateral. I can just now do a regular mammogram. So that's saying that yes, and that's a blessing. You just don't know how blessed you are, and how blessed I am, and how blessed to have family. So ladies, when you go through that, trust, get support, and believe, and ask the doctor and the nurses. And I think He gave me tools. He'll give them tools and give you tools to make it through. You just got to have the mindset that I'm not gonna die. And that was I'm not gonna die.
So I feel myself almost teared up because my mom is very strong. And we've been through a lot. So I've seen her go through a lot as well and be strong. So it is a blessing.
Thank you, daughter. And you have been a strong daughter for me, because I think without you being there as not only my daughter, but a great friend, I could talk you about, make me cry. You helped me. When I went to tell you about situations, you were there. You always gave me encouragement, where you always was my support. So that's a blessing in itself. Everybody cannot say that.
And you didn't have to get a
No,
you didn't have to get, what's it called, a mastectomy? Well, you got a partial, because initially I thought she was going to get some new ones.
Yes, I said, maybe I get some big ones, but I did not have to.
Right.
And going back to when they checked, the first time they checked, it was 7 centimeters. After my first infusion, it went down, shrunk it down to 4. That was a blessing. And I felt it burning. I felt it hot. I felt it. And when I went back, the doctor was amazed himself in how much it shrinked just from 1.
Right.
So you know that whatever you ask the Lord and you serve him and ask him, he will give you. And he gave me a blessing.
It is a blessing.
No medicine. I don't take no medicine. Only thing I take is vitamin D. Nothing. And that's coming from him, trusting and believing. He told me, because you took care of the man of God, that's his family and their children, you look after them, he would take care of me, and he did. And I'm just so grateful.
So for anybody that maybe knows someone going through, you're going through yourself, hopefully, her testimony will give you a glimmer of hope, or a lot of hope, to be encouraged. You may not understand why at the moment what you're going through, but just know, God won't put more on you than you can bear. And get close to him. If there's something that he's asking you to do and telling you to do, don't hesitate. Do it, and you'll be blessed and be able to help somebody else on the other side.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to add that we?
Well, one thing he did through that, going through, he had me to write. And I was writing prayers. I have 2 books. And during that time when I was writing those prayers, they sound good. But even now, as I go back, and it's been 5 years since 2012, I said, oh man, when I'm going through stuff, I go look through that book. And I said, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. That's what I need. He knows what you need. Maybe you might need then, but later on down the road. And those prayers has helped me. I pulled out that Bible, I pull up a scripture, a chapter, and read, and he had me, and I found out so much about him, and even more that I did not know, and even in the word. So those prayers do work, and it helped me. It helped pull me through and gave me strength.
Right. So a lot of times too, not saying that's the only way God can get to you, but you get closer to him in those times, and you get to know him in a different way. And your relationship becomes different.
Yes.
And so in so many ways. So I think at the end of the day, that's probably what's most important, So if anyone is ever asking God, where you in, know that he is with you. You have to take that step to seek him. He's right there. Seek him and he will be found.
Yes.
So that is going to be it for our show today. Thank you for joining us, and may God bless you. Bye.